meeting.
Waiting on Kent, do we? The meeting.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the commissioners meeting on September 8th?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Claims 1 through 178, an amount of $399,961.75, and the payroll claims.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Court collections as submitted, for the ambulance clerk, health department reporter, and sheriff for August.
I'll make a motion to accept. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Review and acknowledge the treasurer's bank reconciliation monthly comparison report for August.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
TKE repair, work order for the elevator door. So they want half the money.
Yeah, they want half of it once they start, and then the second half of it
Okay,
when they're finished.
okay. So the amount of the repair is $19,772.53.
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0. We have some additional requests, so I'm just gonna read through those. Do you want to just make one motion, or do you want to separate it? Doesn't matter. Okay, so lit for special purpose. We have $645,500.
That is, we've got 500 some thousand already appropriated. The bid came in higher than I had appropriated at the beginning of the year, so that'll get us up to the bid amount.
Okay, do you need?
And that's for
more?
the sewer project?
Yes, that's for the grinder.
Right.
Yes.
So Grinder, do you think we need more? Do you
No,
anticipate anything?
No, the contract, this amount plus what I have. is
But
the
I just mean, do you have?
I do have a cushion.
Okay.
I do have a cushion.
While we're doing that, as well.
Right.
Okay. Can I get a motion to, I'll just read the non-reverting dispatch, will we do that with it?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so the non-reverting dispatch, we have, overtime 20,000 and part-time 4,000. Any discussion? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve these additional requests?
I'll make a motion to approve both. I'll second both.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for you. Okay, we have a request to use the gazebo. Yep. By an employee on us for October 26th, an afternoon wedding.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the request. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Through.
I will say that I'll just bring this up while we're talking about the Hope Springs. I asked to put up, I think I copied you guys on it, the domestic violence purple ribbons. And they will be around the gazebo, but that's the end of the month, so I guess we tell Tanya, just contact them if they want to take them down, decorate something different, if they just put them back up, or. At that point, maybe they'd be all right, we can just leave them down.
Okay,
But yeah, light poles are not gonna affect the yard at all.
right,
So,
yeah, they do.
yes, so Olivia Benny, we talked, she said, no, we wouldn't have anything in the yard, it'd be all on. Okay.
Okay, next item on the agenda is
Yeah, stuff needs to
The opioid settlement, I know Colleen, you're still waiting on some contracts that for,
yeah, I still need one for Johnny's house, but that's for Crossroad. Yeah, are you getting the one for Johnny's house?
Yes.
Okay.
we signed this.
I think-
Who's the representative?
I know, do you want the judge to sign it or do you wanna sign
It's county money, I think, Commissioner.
it?
Yeah, you can,
Cause they brought it to the commissioners to approve the grant, so.
it's actually nothing to do with J-RAC, that money has nothing to do, J-RAC's just helping us. The professionals, the prosecute, judge, the probation
I
officers,
agree. They're just,
the council's got Kelly's on there, I'm on there as commissioner. It's
Do you
just
want me to
people.
sign it since he's on the J-RAC and he's a commissioner?
I think you can sign it as the president.
Okay.
And have a signature block there and
Okay,
sign off, the judge can sign as well, but that's.
well, there's.
Well, I don't think she, and I don't know if you want to.
Well, I can sign it, small enough, so I can sign everything. Okay.
I don't think so.
Um,
The way Danny Snyder explained it to me, this is the county's money. We're just helping you with where we think it would be best. And so we have done this on.
All right, I think we want to have some discussion regarding our invoices that are unpaid for work that they were done back in April or prior. And I guess that just brings my question. Has Envoy then paid all the outstanding invoices that they presented to us because the commissioners voted to have all those invoices paid?
no. The council voted just to pay the larger one of 144,000. Give or take. And they declined the one for 48,000 because it was after the June deadline.
My question is, does the council have that authority to do that when money is budgeted and they didn't go through the proper process to, reduce those line items? And we're trying to get to a certain point with the contract, and of course, that had to be sold because the council used fund,
Well, it's,
because it's gonna bring a lawsuit.
right, to the extent that it could result in litigation, I don't think it's something that should be discussed in the meeting.
Well, as far as, Arkansas,
Have you,
Arcturus has some
These are-
invoices that were prior to May's meeting. They were under
Well-
contract, they were under contract with Envoy, and so they're not getting reimbursed for those. Is it because of that wasn't submitted to us until after the May, June? I don't know. I can't answer that. But I feel like Arcturus should be paid for their services.
I'd be happy to follow up with Taylor Powell and see what the council's legal basis is.
well, it's not Arkansas, it's the work they contracted to have done.
Yes, it's a Patriot.
Patriot, the asbestos people, the people who came with the cameras and 3D mapping. And,
Because they did those.
Sycamore Engineering, I believe, was
Yes.
on there maybe.
I think the 22, the mapping was $88,000 or something, I forget, but the 22, it looks like to me that that's in that original 140. I don't have the exact numbers, I don't guess, but it looks as though 148 paid that 22, or it should have. Whether it did or not, that's, Envoy's gonna have to figure that out, but the 8,000 for sure. The mapping was not on that original. I think that's the question.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what else we can do other than we said they need to look at it. I think the holdup is that June 1st date, the council. it looks to me like my paper shows that 22 has been paid for. And the original 148,000 that they paid off, but. Whether that money got to where it's supposed to
Yeah,
go.
I don't know what that's sure it's been paid,
Yeah, I don't know, once it leaves here,
right?
I don't know
Because
where
it
it
goes
is.
to Envoy and then
Then
Envoy
Envoy
makes
splits
So the
the payment.
22,900, that isn't the amount that is left paid to our insurer on that email that we got.
Michael Collins emailed us, maybe we just need to make contact with Michael and Rich Taylor.
It's the same invoice number, but it was from the last one he sent us. It was in that original total. And I could be reading it wrong, but it looks like it was already in that total that we paid to Envoy. That breakdown of the,
And maybe that final payment takes care of all this stuff. Maybe that's why they're not getting paid.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what Envoy has paid out to them. Like they communicated that, have they?
No, they have.
Okay. All right, well, yeah, I guess we can work with Taylor, Powell, and see if we can come up.
No, yeah, it's in plan. When you send it to you.
Okay, the next item we have, I don't think I have it on the agenda, the WEGA contract. So the original, contract was signed October 2017, 22, and was, the terms was 2 years. Well, with some funds, partial funding for the overall project, it's kind of delayed. And so they need an extension on their contract to fulfill this, so.
For the building, right?
Yes,
Not the.
for the overall project, and we goes relying on additional grants from Indiana Landmarks.
Free out for the building, not their,
Yes.
not their.
Not, yeah, so this is for that, the extension of time is what they're wanting. Up to October 16th, 2025.
Were those funds appropriated from our money?
Some of them, yeah.
That's only, not the economic development, that's we.
Right, this is WEGA.
Okay, yes, those funds are appropriated.
I don't have any issue with the extension of the contract time, but for funds going into, unless that's a you just have to make sure it's reappropriated. To be spent in 25, with the council issue. So you have to advise WEGA that commissioners can authorize the extension of the time frame, but the money still has to be reappropriated to the 25 budget, and that's not the commissioner's control.
I assume Rod is here,
He's not here, no, he wasn't able to come today. So,
I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not interested in signing it. Just, we're $250,000 in and we have nothing to show for it. That's my opinion. He has those grants, maybe something will happen, but as of right now, I'm not interested.
well, Rob has been helping, in the background. I know he recently, released a newsletter to the board members, and it may be on his website, but I think a lot of people are not aware. I wanted to get something on our Facebook page just to expose some of the things that he's been helping. Now, when we first started with Ready, it became too much for us commissioners to do economic development. You know, for what we get, we're part-time commissioners, and I was doing a lot of traveling, was I not, Tim?
Yeah,
Going up Ready, trying to go after grants and everything, and so Rod is implementing, a lot of, he has some sources that I wasn't able to, you know, make connections with. We've got 1.5 million housing that it ended up, it was a gift to Covington. Attica wasn't ready. I tried to reach out to the town of Petersburg a few years back, hey, sounds like there's gonna be another ready two housing, so you guys need to get on board and be ready, you know, so that we can submit, you know, to get our name in the game. It was like pulling teeth, so I was happy when we did, and the council was on board of signing on with WEGA to help, because it really relieved a lot of stress. You know, that Tim and I mainly, because Andrew was working full time and everything, so a lot of this was on our laps. Childcare, it was like pulling teeth to get any money from the council, because they wanted to be on the decision of what program would be selected. It wasn't their decision, it was IEDC's, and it took a lot of talking for them to understand that I just needed a commitment. Are they gonna give money? Do they see a need in Fountain County? So now we've gotten enough grants for 200 seats, so you're saying you don't see anything from WEGA, but there are some things going on.
Well, that's for the building specifically and having.
I know, but I'm just saying there's some other
Yeah.
things, but there's some things that this is going to be available in Attica area.
The worst case scenario about that building in Attica is we have a perfectly restored historical building that's been saved in downtown.
Yeah.
If WEGA doesn't make it or whatever. The WEGA board is a very competent board. You got a lot of great people on there. We would be the only ones as usual without an economic development footprint. Warren County's had economic development for years. And Aaron, I don't know a lot about it, but what I've been told, I can believe it. Economic development takes 3, 5 years, 10 years to get rolling properly. I mean, I've heard it in a lot of different places I've been. Whenever you go into a town like Logansport, Indiana, beautiful downtown. I mean, it's just, they've probably had economic going up there 25 years. I mean, Delphi, Indiana, the same way. Every time you go into a community like that, they have an economic development group. And back in the all say, I can see where it doesn't look like much is happening, but I think there's a lot more happening than we know, because they legally cannot tell you what's going on, because people will back out of coming if it's business or anything else. They will say, well, this gets out, deal's off.
I know they've had a few obstacles that they, ran into brick walls of getting things done. I mean, they won't deny, but it hasn't been easy for them.
And a lot of it is just total misunderstandings by people. I mean, like and I always say this, the 9% housing, that is not for public aid people. That is, you have to have a job and make, I think it was 26 or 27,000 in Fountain County, but you couldn't make over 60 and live in them. But Rockville's a great example of that. They've got that housing just south of the courthouse. It's on its 3rd or 4th year. It's beautiful. And it gives people that live in this area, that's raised in this area, if you want to work at MasterGuard or at Harrison Steel or C&D, and you want to stay in this area, or a teacher, school teacher. Teachers complain about coming in here and not having places to live. But a lot of people thought, oh, this is Section 9 or Section 8 housing and blah, blah, blah. It's not. It happened both in Attica, Petersburg. I don't know about that, but now, I don't want to open my mouth, because I don't know if it's out. But there is going to be a developer coming to Fountain County with this. And city board is on board with it. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to mention any names of towns or anything. But that type of housing is great for a community, because it keeps people here and it lets people be able to afford. A lot of these people can't afford the prices these houses are going. So I do think it's been a very positive thing. I know Rod works hard, I know the board works hard. especially that initial group out of Attica. They've had their ups and downs with the city council of Attica. Unfortunately, you just can't do what you want to do. There's always other boards and people not understanding quite what's going on. I just think that WIGA has the right, they're trying to help Fountain County maintain, everybody. That was another thing, I hate to keep rambling, but we don't wanna be Lafayette, or we don't wanna be whatever, you're never gonna be Lafayette. All we would like to do is get our original 19,000 people back that we used to have. We've lost that much population in the last 20 years. About 3,000 people. We'd be thrilled to get that back. The school systems would be thrilled to get that back. Because they get paid $5,000, $7,000 for each kid. What is it? Can't hear on school board.
It's around 7,000, 8,000.
For each kid that attends that school. Well, I personally know there's been grief around Petersburg for a guy buying ground for subdivisions, and Fountain Central's down to 50 students. I mean, in their classes. I would think they would be thrilled if somebody wants to come in there and build houses and maybe bring families in. So that's, I think WIGA and their board, and it's just the first year, literally finishing up the first year with the county. And a lot of positive things are moving in Attica because of them.
Well, on this particular project, there's been some delays that's not been brought over the board's fault. They've been waiting on, Indiana landmarks, they've been waiting on, some other grants
Right?
that are coming through, so,
Now, they got that grant from the Wallback River Heritage Corridor Committee.
yeah.
And I know that.
But there's another one,
Oh, I know.
but I don't think Rod's wanting to announce it till like next week, or this week, I guess. So. I don't know, I think we need to take a vote to extend this and.
But under the original agreement, there was a certain amount of money that was identified for that, for their,
For the bill.
Yes.
the incubator, for the building renovation for their job innovation incubator program.
Right, like the Studio 54.
So we just need to make sure that if those funds have all been spent.
Fusion, but,
But that money's already been approved. Right, it's there,
Yes.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so,
Yeah,
And
so
we're just
they're just
extending,
asking.
since these other grants are slow coming in and.
The contractor, we can't pay the contractors out, they don't have the money, they're short money if all of it isn't in on. That's the problem.
I mean, that's all we're doing here is just allowing him to get his other grant money, because we've already said we would not give him X amount of dollars.
And Aaron, I don't know whether the original grant, the original 3 years that we signed to do business with WIGA, they've got a year out. So if we decided to cancel their contract now, they've still got another full year of operation.
yeah, but I'm not canceling, I'm just not continuing. So I don't think there's a place for economic development here. I'm not saying we nix that, I'm just saying
This particular project.
that right there.
Okay.
But he has the money already. So do what everybody else has to do, figure out how it works. Because that's just giving him another year, I'm not even gonna say Rod's dragging his feet, I'm saying that just gives another year to possibly drag your feet. You have what you need to have, right? Do it.
Well, he doesn't,
He
because
doesn't have all
his
this.
other money hasn't came in from the other grants.
Well, I
And
understand,
that's not his fault, that's the state.
I understand, but us giving him another year does what? The money's still not there, so what does us giving him another year accomplish?
Allow some time to do the work.
But he has the time, you just said he has another contract for a whole nother year. So
Yeah, but if we.
what are we doing?
If we don't approve transferring the council, doesn't approve transferring the money, then the whole project's done, because that's a big part of it, that's probably half of it,
Well, but that is just for
the building.
the building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably half of the building, about $1 million and some dollars to restore that building
but you're telling me he already has the money from us, correct?
from us,
From
not
us.
from
Not from the grants.
not the other half.
I understand, yes.
Or say 400,000, 500,000, I don't know. He's got our money, yes, but he doesn't have the other.
So,
So there's another, I think there's another
So we're talking circles, I just want to be very clear. He already has our money, signing that, he's not gonna get any more money from us anyway, so once again,
No,
it does not matter. I look at that as holding to the fire and doing what he needs to do. Whether it's his fault or not, I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying. That gives another year, what are we accomplishing with giving him an entire year to do what we've already given our money to do, period. That doesn't give him any more money from us, he's still waiting on the grants.
Contractor, he can't start the project without full funding.
So you're saying we're gonna give him more money if we sign that?
We're not.
Okay, well, that's,
We're waiting on these other
Yes.
grant money to
To come
come
in.
in, so he's gotta, we're just allowing him some time to start work on his project, because he doesn't have the money now, but he will with these other grants coming in. We're just allowing this contract that, you know.
We're saying the half
Calling
million
how much
still
money have
there.
we spent out?
I'm looking.
Okay,
The money has been appropriated, not all of it has been spent. If that,
this is just protection, am I correct? To where if we extend it, it's gonna give him the time that he is needing to get the rest of his funds in order to bid out. Because obviously he can't do it at a month's time. He's not gonna do it. Am I right?
I think.
In a nutshell.
I think in a nutshell, that's accurate, especially, yeah, I misunderstood, I didn't know if there were, he was asking for an extension of. If all of that has not already been, they haven't applied for and received whatever was appropriated in this year's budget. The extension of time, it needs to be, maybe we can write in a term or approve it. Subject to a term being added, that it's, if there are funds that they would apply for in 25, that it's subject to a continued, appropriation of the original amount.
I have a question if I may ask. When was the last time Rod came to a meeting or sent you an email in regards to his progression or what he was working on?
I think there's 338,000.
He stayed in
It's okay.
probably every 2 weeks, if not every week, contact. But whether by phone or email or text. We hear quite a bit from him, he can't tell us stuff either, some things, he'll just say something, working on something, so.
And how much is he giving for the Liga building?
I thought it
It was 500.
I thought it was 500,000, 500.
How much?
500,000.
500,000.
Some of it's been expended. I think there's 338,000 left to spend. But
And then this new grant or this new funding he's supposed to be getting, which is due to come on next year, I think,
Well,
is that 1.2 million? For the building, for his project?
is that, yeah, that's the whole project, right? 1.2 million.
Okay. I have a problem with that. I still feel like that should be spent on his buildings, and we have other projects in this county that it should be spent on. And I know they have to be shovel ready and there's rules and regulations to that funding, but it's just not a good look when you're trying to develop economic development in the county. I just don't feel like it's being utilized like it should, but that's just my opinion.
What the building's for.
That may be what it's for, but we have lots more that needs to be done here in Fountain County. One of them is the sidewalks in Hillsborough. That's economic development. They're trying to redo their sidewalks so they can make handicap accessible. Well, that would bring in business to Hillsborough in a roundabout way. And they were denied. They wouldn't ask money from media and they were denied. Rod told them that that is not what that's used for. I'm sorry, I just,
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I
That's
feel like that would have been a great thing, and they weren't asking for much, less than $5,000. So,
Well, we're not talking or giving any more
No,
than we've already committed to, so, yeah, if we were given more, Yeah,
And I mean, I'm of the understanding how economic development works, it could be 3 to 5 years before you see anything come to fruition. But, you know, it's just my opinion.
Well, that's my question. He's not getting any more. Then why do we need to give him an extension?
but if he has to spend it this year or he has to spend, he probably not physically spend it all because he's not that far along in the project. That's the hangup. He can't just spend 300 and whatever. Right.
38,000.
Yeah, because he doesn't have he's going as far as he can on these buildings without doing the rest. That's the reason why it's gotta be an extension. We're not giving it anymore.
But he's gonna have to spend it no matter what. That's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. If we do nothing, things are going to proceed exactly how they are. If we sign that, things are going to proceed, but we're in another year contract. With him, with Wega, not even wrong, say with Wega for who knows what down the road.
But the contract for this particular project, the incubator. It's a separate contract than what we have with WECA.
Mhm.
So if he's gotta go by this contract with this incubator and he's got a month. There's no way that he can move forward for the bid process or whatever process he's got. Because he doesn't have the other funds in place, because I don't know when they're gonna give their fund or if they have given their funds. And so we're just allowing him time to be able to use the funds that we, appropriated to him
You understand
to move
that?
forward with his project.
He has those funds to use right now.
Right, but if he can't move forward, he's not gonna use those funds. My opinion, how can he move forward?
Well, so that's the question, how's it gonna move forward, period anyways?
Well, if we allow this extension, it's gonna give him a time for a little more cushion of time frame to do what he needs to do to finish his incubator project,
Get the fund.
to finish getting the funding that is needed.
If the deadline is October 17th, then they're table that you get more information. There was at least 1 to 2 meetings before the deadline was extended,
Well, the deadline is what'd you say, 17th?
October 17th.
But he has money from us and the grants have already been approved, he's just waiting on them to show up. So. Why do we need an extension? The money's there. He has it. It might not be in the bank account yet, but
I don't know what the terms of I just don't recall what the terms of the underlying agreement state.
I think the original agreement said a year and it's running out.
that original agreement,
Well,
It was 2 years from October 17, 2022.
yeah.
They had 2 years to spend it.
But I guess, once again,
Brendan, do you wanna get more information from Rod or you send it on the council's gotta approve it also? Okay.
I think the council does have to,
They have to appropriate the money next year.
that's right.
If we carry
You can,
over,
the
that's-
commissioners can agree to this, and then if that remaining 338 isn't reappropriated for the 25 budget, then this is moot.
Okay, so we just table it until our next meeting. I'm trying to reach out to or
Yeah, let's
I'm not interested in signing it.
will you be
So-
interested in signing the month?
That's, I'm gonna lean towards no, but
Okay.
you know,
The original contract and send it to everybody. Files. I can get the original contract, so if Aaron wants to review it.
Well, if Aaron, what I was trying to get at, if Aaron's, gonna say no, it's a vote's up to me and Colleen at that point. Me and Brenda at that point,
Well, you can vote if you want.
so, yeah. Yeah. So I don't have a problem giving them an extension.
I don't either,
I mean, I don't know what Rod would tell us any different than what we already know. He just needs an extension because he can't get his money put together, and we're not giving him any more money. I'll make a motion to extend another year. This economic development business incubator grant agreement extension.
okay,
I'll make
you're
a
giving
motion.
me permission. Well, he's not a second, I'll second that
Okay.
motion.
Yeah, that's fine.
Those.
Aye.
Two,
Opposed? 2-1.
for one.
2-1. Aaron was in there.
All right. We do have a transfer in the jail for $1,500 from telephone to repairs and maintenance. That wasn't on your agenda. It was given to Colin today.
I'm approved.
Also,
Aye.
aye.
Did we do anything on that opioid settlement or are we waiting? With that, you got that one contract.
I got the one, but I don't have the other.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve that one, if we could, the recovery, crossroads recovery.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We never voted on, thanks. Okay, ready for department heads.
Good morning.
More good.
I just want to give you the paperwork for the asking of overtime and part-time, the rundown on what I'm asking. And I did figure it out for the end of this school year. Figure. So I wanted to make sure I gave you guys that. Oh, my husband. If you want.
Yeah.
If you want.
Okay.
I,
Thank you for signing that. Yeah.
If you have any questions, feel free to holler at me. I just wanted to run down the overtime and the part-time for you guys.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Laura, do you have anything?
Just an update on the remount, he had a couple of vehicles in front of ours, he's gonna try to get started on it soon. Probably looking November, December before we deliver the remount. Everything trucks doing good. Other than that, that's about it.
Addie's still working on the.
Yeah, Aaron sent me some stuff, we're looking at, some other things, try to see what we can come up with, and then I'll meet with the council tomorrow night, with the numbers.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
Great.
Great.
that's all I got.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we was talking about a burn ban. It's getting pretty dry. You okay with that?
Yeah, I can reach out to the fire department, because they're the ones that make the decision. And no one's called me. So here's my waiting,
Laura?
Absolutely.
remember me.
Yeah, I need to go out back for them.
There's the southern counties, somebody, Brendan just pulled up, a lot of the southern counties have it, but there's no one up here yet, but it's extremely dry with no rain. For the next week, we're talking 90-degree weather.
Well, I can reach out to the other ones and so on, and then.
Okay, then just go ahead and put it, when you talk to them, get it.
Yeah, once they're here, I will.
Okay, thank you. Rick?
Colleen, if you asked me about that elevator.
yeah, they approved it.
Howard, got anything?
I got a question real quick, or the bridge closing on 341. You know, it's coming at a great time.
Oh, yeah.
I reached out to the Indiana Department of Transportation and voiced my concerns about that and asked them to delay it, but I probably will not hear anything back. But I would encourage others, if they're gonna be encumbered by that closure, to do the same.
Thing about those are, there's a list of people that are environmental, that's all contacted. But I don't know whether that's just for a specific time period or
It's all
whether that's.
It's all during March, so it starts today. and so
What? Yeah, but I don't know whether if they, maybe Roger can answer that, if they delay it next spring, do they have to redo all that work? Okay, you're not gonna care about it.
No,
Okay.
nothing. So, and I even asked them to reach out to me and let me know any specifics as being a council person, because I probably won't get phone calls, but who knows, I might. The people that are upset about it, and I wanna be able to have a direct answer that I can give them, or a phone number I can pass on for them to call, so.
Okay.
So I even let them know that there will be a grain elevator that will definitely be encumbered by it. So
So wonder what they're using for the.
what they're doing, they're gonna go 25, 55 and around, so it's gonna add another.
The
10
state,
miles.
the state highway.
Uh-huh.
You all
But
know
that's-
that they take the county gravel road.
Exactly. So then I brought that up to him too. I said, well, not everybody's gonna go your designated route. They're gonna find the shortest possible route to get there. And I said, you know, we had a situation before where it tore our county gravel roads up.
Oh, every time,
And bridges,
every time.
Bridges
bridge.
and culverts. Because if the semi tries to go a county road and they make it turn and get, take out a culvert along with their undercarriage of their trailer or truck, but. So I don't know if there will be anybody that'll be calling you guys, but I just wanted to pass it along.
Not a bad time of year.
Yeah, definitely. And they were just there at a lot working on something this summer, so I don't know why they just didn't do it,
Oh,
and,
yeah,
but they didn't ask us.
no.
Anybody else? No, okay.
My first ribbon.
Have anything on public comment, was someone,
We still have money in that one, ARC or whatever you call it.
American Rescue Plan.
Yeah, we still have money there,
Yes,
and it has to be appropriated by the end of this year.
has to be obligated.
And has anybody been doing any work on that? How much money we talking about?
Already,
$1 million?
already taken.
About 1.2 million.
This is all spoken.
It's not appropriated. I mean, the money's appropriated, but it has to be obligated. And what I'm getting from State Board of Accounts and our Auditors Association is we have to have a contract. So that puts us, yeah,
Okay.
we need to move quickly now.
Okay.
Also, this week, are we talking about 2 contracts or 1 contract?
we're talking about extending the contract for their incubator
For the building
for the building.
in downtown Athens.
Now, then we have to make a decision on whether we want to extend their contract and pay them another $250 after 2025, right? And that has to be made before October the 17th.
Is that the date of the actual REGA contract?
I don't know.
We'll have to pull that
I'll
contract.
have to
Carol.
pull it because
See
I
what the
didn't know
dates
about
were.
this until.
Because it was mid-year that we contracted with them. It wasn't like January. It was, I thought it was. More than March and June.
I don't know. I'll have to look at the contract. I don't remember those things.
Well, somebody just said the Riga contract was 10/17/22.
That was for the incubator.
So Carol, there's 2 contracts, there's one for the incubator as well today,
And then there's,
like Colleen was saying with the ARPA, you know, we gotta obligate, but state board of accounts is wanting contracts for those obligations, so this incubator is a contract for ARPA funds to use.
And on these contracts that you folks sign, I hope the next administration will work closer with the council than what you folks have.
That's, and to mention it, why are there things, I don't understand, if he's using the county money, why are there things that he just doesn't tell? You know, what I mean, why? are
what
there
I was
secrets
speaking
about it?
to that was, let's just say that I'm a hotel chain and I wanna look at land on 74 in Petersburg. And I contact them and say, I say I'm Holiday Inn. And I'm going to purchase land there in Petersburg, but I do not want anybody knowing anything about this until we're ready to announce it as a company. That's what I was talking about.
So you think that there are some developments like that he's working? I would ask, because I talked to him and asked him about, he's involved in none of the housing developments in Covington. So, I mean, I didn't know where he might be working on a development like that.
Yeah.
And that was Brad likes to do that on his own.
They have reached out to basically every municipality saying they would help. Now, whether they take the help or not, that's another thing. That's up to the town councils of each town. But he has
Seems
been.
like a fine
every
line
town
between
council.
like keeping secret information and taking
Well,
public
no,
money.
this is stuff that is 100% done through the state with every economic development, so there's nothing.
That doesn't make it right.
Well, I'm not saying it does, but it's everyday thing. I mean, it's not, they're not doing anything any different.
I had another question. The collection report, is that? Can we get those or? I was specifically interested in all this money that the ambulance spends. I just thought there's gotta be income also from all of that. And I just.
Yeah, they're right at 800,000 that they're taking in this year.
I'm sorry.
They're right at 800,000. Dart, you know the exact number, 800.
All of us, we were at 656, we're up about 100-some-thousand from last year.
But I thought I read on the report this week that it was around 800,000.
Maybe I will be being.
Is that, so that's for August?
No, that's
total
year. That's total year.
So far.
We probably bring in about
So
80,
it's way up.
well, it's about average is about 85,000 a month. What we're bringing in.
So how much is the county now? How much are they funding of your service?
You're probably looking at probably 1.4, 1.5 million.
Per year,
But we get money back.
the 85.
That's the reimbursement from the insurance companies.
So what are we talking about for the year? We have that 100,000 you're talking about.
We're gonna be, I mean, this year is gonna be, it's gonna be higher in our collections than we had last year. Last year, I think we were at 805. I think this year we're gonna be probably pushing $1 million or more, probably.
Did we reimbursements?
In expenses,
Yeah, what is your total, they're asking what your total budget?
Yeah.
my budget right now this year is gonna be like 2.5 million.
Okay. And to tell you, when I started as a commissioner, it was around 1.1, 1.2, and we were taking in about 800,000 or 900,000. You're about the same as we are now. So it was costing the county about 300,000 or 400,000 to have their own ambulance service, which is superior compared to anything that you can contract with. Ask for Million County again.
No, I.
So, yeah, I know, I'm just saying how much it went up.
Well, and it's changed a lot over the years too, because at one point, we were like 70, the low 70% of his budget. It was right at $1 million or right under it, and so he was getting back about 70% of his budget.
But the gap is, you know, additional employees.
Yeah, and the
That's
additional
what-
pay.
That you're talking 8 additional employees that we've hired in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
The cost of everything going up dramatically,
Yeah.
you know, that's caused a lot of issue. Again, the change that we did in our salaries in December of 2023 has significantly created that gap.
How many calls do you go out each day?
We average between 5 to 7 calls a day.
And most of those are private or insurance?
It's usually Medicare, Medicaid. Most of them
But
are.
it still doesn't cover.
And what you run into is you can bill, a flat fee, you're only gonna get a portion of that. Because there's a certain amount, is what they call assignment. Federal government puts that assignment on it, we can't touch it, we can't go after it, we can't do nothing with it. And you can't, they'll only pay up a certain amount, and then whatever's left, that's what they call, you can either go in your co-insurance or go into co-pay, and then if there's still a balance, they call that assignment, and you can't touch it. That's the problem, like, yeah, $650 bill, they may only pay $440 of it. That other $200 is what they call assignment, it's required by federal law, that's to be written on. You're very welcome.
Is there a way to get those collection reports? Don't wonder. Like, do you post them somewhere or? It's not public information?
Well, everything's public information just about, but,
They just, department heads usually submit them to the auditor, and then the auditor will disperse them to the council and commissioners. So,
So we
I
could
can't-
find someone if they were willing to part with it.
no, they just,
no,
or maybe we just get a copy out there with the,
I can submit.
we're,
I want to make more work for you. I just thought. So you want the ambulances collected? No, I just, we regularly approve these election reports.
Okay.
why couldn't we just put a copy
Put it on the
right
agenda.
next to the bills, Carol, or Carol?
I can go.
okay, okay,
Thank you.
okay, anything else? Roger, you have anything for us?
Just a minor, Greg and I went up to the landfill. There's a ditch that needs fixing because it's holding water and impacting the wells. He's gonna use maintenance money to take care of that. That's it.
The motion closed. No, I haven't done anything.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.